You are.
Yeah. Liturgical day.
Everything. Liturgical.
Welcome surprise. Give me some wrong with this.
Why don't you want to do the opening? Look, I like that. Welcome to. I love it. I love it. Welcome to another episode of Primetime Makeover, and I am going to toss it to our co-host, Melissa.
Hey, everybody. Hey, today, this moment is for you. We are definitely talking about today loving your spouse or significant other, but not just loving them, but loving them with their imperfections and their flaws. So we're going to talk about how do we do that? In today's culture too, right? Because a lot of times we're doing it based on how we feel or what we think they may need, or even not allowing ourselves to forgive and love them, because considering as they have flaws, so do you. So one thing I want to talk about, or the first thing I'll say is, love is a decision. And it's a decision you have to make every day. So it's something you have to get up in the morning with your mind and say, okay, when I see this, do I love them in spite of? When I see what's happening around me, do I love them in spite of? And one thing I take with me is you have to treat people as their God's gift and not just your treasure, but this is God's gift. So how do you love a gift? How do you love something that somebody decided to give you so that you can be loved and so you can love them? So ladies, how do we love somebody with all their imperfections, when they don't pick up the socks, when they don't put the toothpaste back, when they leave the stuff out the pantry and they leave a dish on the countertop and don't put it in the sink? Y'all know the stuff that kind of bother our nerves. How do we love them in spite of all of that? Michelle, what? It's going to take you a moment. Take your time.
Go to somebody else.
I think Michelle do it. I started calling the roll. She like, oh. Miss Sheila's going to tell us. What do you say, Miss Sheila?
I was good, but you started naming stuff. I got to take a deep breath.
See, this is why we do this.
Oh, my goodness. You said something just now. You said, they're the gift. But I had a friend tell me when I was complaining and moaning about the things in my marriage and my relationship, she said, remember, you're the gift. Mm-hmm. You're the gift to him.
Yep.
So be the gift. And so that helped me with being able to serve my husband with his illness. As you all know, that's been a lot. And when I was murmuring and complaining to her, and I'm like, I think he can do better, and I think he can walk, and she says, remember, you're the gift. She said, just continue to serve him. He needs you. And my husband even told me one time, I'm serving, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing all this stuff. And he didn't act like he appreciated it. And what he said to me? That's not what I need. And then he told me what he needed. So I was doing what I thought he needed. But then he told me what he actually needed, and it made things better. Yeah. So what we have to do is find out what the needs are. The little stuff like, no, he don't put nothing back. If he puts it back, he don't put it where it's supposed to go. He don't do none of that. When he makes the bed, it looks like, okay, really? Next time I'll do it myself. He piles the dishes in the sink. The chili bowl, put the water in it, just put it in the sink, and it gets all dry and crusty. So, but that, those little things.
But I
remind myself that I'm the gift.
I love it.
So I just do what I have to do. It's not an easy thing. It's funny to me sometimes. I think, Lord have mercy, what is this? But I remind myself, girl, you're the gift. Just be the gift. Yeah. And the gift just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And I thank God really that I do a lot because he's not able to right now. But God gives you what you need. God has given me like energy like a 35-year-old. So I do have a lot of energy to be able to do the stuff that I do. And so I'm reminded of myself This is your assignment. This is what you have to do. And God has graced you with the energy to be able to do it. So shut up and stop complaining and just do what you have to do.
Yeah, that's
You know
good.
what? And that was very helpful, Sheila. Because all this giggling over here.
I think this feels so good.
Nothing. Ain't nothing funny.
You gotta
But
laugh.
anyway,
To keep going.
You gotta keep going. But when you said the reminder that you're a gift, and how does a gift behave? A gift, a gift doesn't.
You don't.
It gives.
It gives.
Yes.
It does not. And in fact, it does. Okay, here I go, Bible. It doesn't seek its own way. It doesn't think too highly of itself.
Yes.
It doesn't. It is a gift. It gives. And I think that reminder is something that we forget.
Yes.
If we are,
It's a gift.
if
Yes.
God has given us to each other as gifts, then we need to act like gifts.
Yes.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean putting yourself in way of abuse or any of that other stuff, but being a gift. Did you breathe?
She took one.
I was like,
one.
I heard a breath.
You're getting it together. You're getting it together.
She felt the wind blow.
I think when it comes to loving a spouse or a significant other and working through those things that maybe you don't like, I think it's important to understand the both and, right? That you can genuinely love this person and find that they have things that they need to improve.
Absolutely.
And I say and not but.
And not but.
Because but negates the
Exactly.
first statement, right?
Right, exactly. Ain't nobody talking about that.
I love you, but I loved you, and here
That's
are
right.
some things that I think that you can improve so that you grow, right? And I think when you place it in a position where it's not a complaint but a request.
Right.
Right? It's a complaint and not a request. Because I'm inviting you into an opportunity to grow as a person.
I'm inviting you.
I'm inviting you into an opportunity to grow, right? Here's an opportunity
I'm
to
gonna help
grow.
you help yourself.
I will remember to say it that way.
Opportunity.
Yes.
Pretty much, I'm gonna help you help yourself.
Because I'm a gift, right?
Because I'm a gift.
I'm a gift.
That's really good.
I love it.
And I needed to hear that because I don't always say it that way. You
Yeah.
know, when you're tired and frustrated, it may not come out like, here's an opportunity for you to come. Like, you know what? Put the stuff back. You know, put it back where it belongs. So thank you for that.
We are here. Listen, we keep it real.
Yeah.
We keep it real. And speaking of that, so how do we deal with that when we have to, as LaShondra, she put it so lovely, we request, to help them or assist them? Because I think sometimes, I know as women, I'll speak for myself, my correction sometimes can feel like rejection, right? So you have to make sure you're correcting with affection so then they can understand what it is that you're trying to, relate to them or get over to them. Because sometimes if we're not careful, we'll just go quick and be very impulsive. And a lot of times, talking about flaws, you don't know if that rejection was a flaw or imperfection or something that they've been dealing with. So what you think can be helping, even if it's something that you feel that is good to talk about, it can sometimes feel like rejection if there's not affection with how we correct our significant other. So how do you all think we do that, or do we do that well, or do we think there's a way that we can do it without making one feel like, I told you so, with that tone? What are ways that we feel that, because it's different for everybody, like if you can share some things that may be helpful in how we're having conversations, or as LaShondra says, inviting them in to help them with the hard things.
Tone, tenor, volume, intent.
One more time.
Tone, tenor, volume, intent. So when we're talking about tone, we're talking about whether that tone is accusatory or not, or whether it really is simply, okay, let's sit down and have a conversation. Then when you talk about tenor, that means, the vibrato which you give this, conversation, right?
Like the bass in your voice.
Yeah, that bass
Like
in
what
your
you
voice.
just
Yeah, like that bass. And then volume, obviously we're talking, we're not yelling,
Not
we're
yelling.
not screaming at each other, we're
Yeah.
not doing those things. But then intent. Okay, and that's the biggest one, because what is it that I'm trying to communicate?
Yeah.
What is it?
For sure.
Okay, yes, we're talking dishes, we're talking pick your stuff up, but my intent is for us to have a house of harmony, right? That's my intent.
Exactly.
We want to live in
That's
peace.
that's
And
the
so
target.
this is something that is impeding my ability to live in peace,
Right.
and therefore not live in peace with you, because you are responsible for these things, right? So if my intent is if that's my intent, is to have a peaceful home, then when I present it, if I present it with that intent, then my approach is going to be peaceful.
Right.
Right. So when we're thinking about like how to give that correction with affection, right? We always talk about, the request sandwich, right? Start with something good, make your request, and finish with something good, right? Because you're right. People need to know that they are appreciated.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to understand that they're appreciated. They need to understand, which we talked about, like the performance driven. Like your partner, your spouse, your significant other doesn't just want to feel like they're only here to serve and that's
Yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
right?
For
They
sure.
want to know that they're appreciated for what it is they do. Here's an opportunity for you to grow, but I also am thankful that I get to do life with you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we're coming alongside each other saying, okay, this is how we make our home, a hospitable environment for everybody who lives here. And so talking about, and that could be not just household chores,
Right.
but how we manage money, how we do whatever
Yeah.
it is that
Yeah.
we're doing. Like we want to make that a hospitable approach to it. And that means, now here's a rub, right? Because the things that we are bothered by, right? If we're really bothered by the socks being picked up, or we're really bothered by the dishes in the sink, what is that saying about us? How is that affecting us? Why is this
Why
a
are we
big
affected?
deal? Why is this a big deal? Why is
Something
it a
to
big
think
deal?
Yeah. Because does it make me feel disrespected
That's true.
and
Yeah.
thought small of?
That's true.
Yeah.
Which would, I imagine, affect the tenor and the
Right.
tone
Exactly.
when you bring that out. That's interesting.
And have I seen that before, right? Because
Yes.
growing up as a child, you see how your parents or your guardians have been relatable in how they move and go through marriage. And so when you see like sometimes what's happening around you, it may make you afraid because you remember like, oh, when my dad did that, this is what my mama did, or when my mama did that, this is what my dad did. So now you're like, is this going to happen, the same for me? So I think a lot of times those are as I would say, those are imperfections too. You have to deal with the baggage of what it brings, when you're connecting with someone. So how do we manage that? Like, and I think about love language, right? I think it's something very essential in relationships, but do we find ourselves often trying to love our significant others or spouses based on our love language and sometimes not using their love language, right? My husband loves acts of service. So when he does something for me, he like, yes, let's go to Disneyland. We won the Super Bowl. It's good. And sometimes I'm like, that's what you like. But I like quality time. But sometimes that's what we do. We're trying to, but these are things we have to work through, right? The flaws of understanding how they need to be loved versus us trying to love them on what we need or what we like. How do you balance that, or how do you do that? Or how have you guys done that?
I think that's interesting that you brought up the love languages, because my husband's is gift giving. See, you smile, but mine is not that.
What's wrong with that?
She got me together quick. Mine is not.
But that's the thing. Understanding that if mine is acts of service and I keep getting gifts, I had to understand that was his way of demonstrating love. And so you're looking for love to come from one way, but this is his way of demonstrating it. And like, okay, calm down, Michelle. It is not that you are being ignored.
Absolutely.
This is his
way
language.
Yes.
showing you.
Yes.
And so I
I've been
think
there.
knowing each other's love languages is very important. And I go back to knowing each other. Now here's a funny story. I don't think you'll mind me telling, because I don't remember all the details anyway. But this was funny. I had been angry, and we talk about loving people. You can't really love somebody if you don't know them. What are you loving? And so I was angry for about a week about something that he had done that I don't remember, that I assumed meant, you're minimizing me. Y'all see the drama?
I love character.
You're
in character. Let's go.
Okay.
Tone, tenor, volume,
This
and
is
everything.
what I am feeling, and this is how it made me feel when you did that. And he looked at me because we were out at breakfast, and he put some food in his mouth, and he chewed a little bit, and he
Drum roll.
Shell, I don't think that deep. So I had attributed all these motivation to what he had done. And he was like,
One sentence.
I don't even think that deep.
Like you giving us too much.
And so we both laughed, but I realized I was attributing all of this stuff to him, and that's not even who he is.
Yes.
And so loving our spouse also means taking the time to know them,
To learn.
Exactly.
to learn
Exactly.
them. And it is insulting to assume that just because you have been with somebody, however many years you've been to them, that you know everything about
Yes.
them. So I think one way of loving them is to do them the honor of learning them.
Yes.
And you said something. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
And to add to that, expectations. I
that's good.
realized my husband may not do something the way I do it. It doesn't make it wrong. I used to think, okay, why did he make the bed like this? It was okay. It just wasn't to my standard, But I learned, don't expect more from them than they can give you.
Yeah.
They may not be able to give you everything that you're expecting from them. Am I right, Lasagna?
You
in
are
saying
absolutely
that?
right.
You know,
Expectations set you up for disappointment.
Yes. And
Yes.
so your expectation of your spouse may be way up here or way down here, and they may be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Learn to accept that they give you what they can give you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's not always how you would give or how you would do
Yeah.
it. And so I had to learn that about my husband. And it made things so much better for me.
Yes.
That I don't set certain expectations of things that he's not really able to
Yeah.
give me. Just because I can give it and
Right.
I can do it doesn't mean
Absolutely.
he can.
You met him where he was.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this is the thing too. I mean, in us learning, you said something about learning. In us learning how to love our significant others with their imperfection and flaws, how has that made you a better person? Or has it made you a better person? Because I thought I had patience, guys. I thought I was doing it until God had to show me people or a situation with me and my husband. It was like, no, you need to learn how to handle even the flaws or the imperfections, because sometimes we're quick to get to the target based on what we want or how we're used to doing things. And then God had to humble me and say, I'm going to show you how to do it. So in the end, not only will you be able to love him as he needs, but it'll also build your character so you can be better for yourself and your spouse.
So what I learned during my marriage was every couple needs to learn the art of renegotiation. You need to renegotiate the relationship every couple of years, because you end up changing, growing, developing as a person. And so what fit in one stage of your life, one phase of your life, okay, we're in a different phase and we have to renegotiate the terms of our relationship. What things do I need now that I didn't need then?
Yeah.
Right? What things that I no longer need? Right? There's some new things are added to it. So I think that's a skill that helps keep you flexible relationally, right? Is to be able to renegotiate the relationship. And I'm thinking about, Sheila, like, okay, now you started off in one way and now you're in a situation as a caregiver. So now you got to renegotiate, right? Right? Some things have changed about the relationship, and now my expectation, my standards, my boundaries, all of those things are changing, but it's about communication. And you come to the table to negotiate, right? So we sit down at the table, we renegotiate our relationship and develop that flexibility. So I feel like that's how you change and grow as a person.
Yeah.
How do you initiate a discussion like that?
Oh, because obviously you're going to be experiencing some discomfort, right?
Okay.
Which
So-
may cause some tension
Yes.
and friction
Yes.
or whatever. And then that's when you say, okay, let's sit down, let's talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
What is really happening here?
Yeah.
What is happening for me? What is happening for you? What do we need that we're not getting right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do we set about to intentionally have that happen, right? Like, what do you need from me? What do I need? What do I need from you? And renegotiate those terms, right? When my kids were younger, there were certain aspects of care that I needed and responsibility that my ex-husband took on when we were kids. Well, when they became older, it's like, okay, we don't need that no more. Okay, and you're expecting me to cook and clean like this. Half of the people are out the house right now. Like, I'm not doing that. So here's what we sit down and talk about. What is it, the minimum that you need, and what is the minimum I'm willing to give, and we meet somewhere in the
And
middle,
negotiate.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We negotiate that,
Yeah.
right?
Negotiate.
And so every couple needs to be able to do that. Learn the skill of renegotiation.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
good. Because
That's
seasons change.
That's really good.
And we're
Seasons
evolving,
change.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is really good. And I think too, as LaShondra was saying, I have those emotional check-ins. Like, where are you now? What do you need from me now, right? Because a lot of times we'll still be serving from the last season and we're in a whole new season.
Yeah.
So, how do you go about making sure that you're not missing what they need versus what you're still trying to give them? Because sometimes they may not, and to your point, how do you introduce those conversations? Because sometimes, we're not always vocal with what our needs are or what we're not getting, so how do we do that? I mean, I think it's a way of, like LaShondra was saying, stepping back and reassessing it. And then I think too, going into the conversation, not being accusatory,
Yeah.
being open-minded to what it is. And sometimes I know for me, I'll be like, hey, how are you? Everything's good. And then I try to tell him, I want to do something so I can be better for you. And I feel sometimes when you take that approach, not that you're not going to gain anything from it, but I think they're more open.
Yeah.
When they realize it's not just me want to talk to you because I got an issue or you made me upset, but it's like, what can I do to make sure that I'm serving you well and I'm loving you in the best way possible?
I, with my husband's illness, I realized, okay, he's doing a little bit better now. He can take out the garbage. He can clean the cat litter box or whatever. But I said it to myself. I didn't say it to him. And so I was mad. I was like, he can move around now. He's not doing it. But he got so used to not doing it, and I got so used to doing it, we didn't communicate. So finally I did say, you can help me a little bit around the house. She said, oh, well, yeah. And it was no problem. So what you said is true. We have to renegotiate. And so we did. And so now he's able to do some things that he wasn't able to do, and he's doing them. So that's really good.
This is really
Expectation without communication leads to dissatisfaction.
Yeah. One more time, LaShondra.
Expectation without communication leads to dissatisfaction.
So if they don't know,
They have no idea
They're
that you're
gonna be
thinking about this.
disappointed.
They have no
Exactly.
idea
Yes.
that this
Yeah.
is
Be
something that you
disappointed.
desire.
Yeah.
But you're mad because you're not getting it.
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
And they're not even thinking that
They're
deep.
not-
They're not thinking that deep. They're not thinking that deep.
While they eating their eggs, they not even thinking that
Put that chili bowl in the sink without running some water in it. They're not thinking that
I was
deep.
making myself miserable.
Right.
Yes.
And
He's
you know
going
what?
on about his business, walking up the
We
down the
do
stairs,
that, though.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here mad, and I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I should tell him. But sometimes
Yes.
you just want them to see. But
Yeah, I think we write a whole novel. We
Yeah.
have a whole
Yes.
motion picture,
novel.
a sequel sometime if they don't answer quick enough. Because we be like LaShondra said, we want them. I mean, you have to communicate, but if we don't let them know that, then how will they better serve?
Right.
You know, how would they better know how to show up? So, what are some things we would suggest to others, significant others, spouses, or what have you, in ways even on how to build the love in the relationship, like how to love each other outside of just, doing the things that we know that they may want, but also taking, I think you were saying something too earlier, Michelle, about being innovative and taking the initiative. What are some ways we can do that? Because a lot of times we keep trying to And I think so what LaShondra said, well, they be talking good, y'all. But when she said about renegotiating, sometimes we keep trying to do the same thing. Like date night shouldn't look the same every time.
Right.
Change it up. Like, you don't want to keep coming back to the same place I think sometimes that lets them know you're thinking about them and you're taking consideration. So what are some ways we can build the love while we're learning how to love them in their imperfection and flaws? Anything you guys would suggest?
Like, just keep it fresh. You have to really put in the time. It's just like when we go to work. You know, we do our jobs, we do things the way we should do them, but we also think creatively. We have to put in that kind of work in our relationships too. Think creatively, think about that person. What does that person really like? And just do it different. Keep it fresh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an older person now, but I still try to keep my relationship fresh. I'm married to a younger man, so you know, I got to keep that fresh. And even with the gifts, we give, you know, he loves books. But if I give him one more book, it's boring me. So for Christmas, I didn't get him a book. I got him, he says he wants to do a podcast, so I got him this equipment. It's still in the box, but I got it for him. But he was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, nobody's ever given me anything like this before, because everybody always gives him a book, because that's what he likes. And so just little things like that, little changes, you know, even so much as bringing coffee to the bed. You know, he brought me coffee to bed a couple of weeks ago. I was so excited because he used to do it all the time, but not being able to walk, he wasn't able to do it. So he did it. And I was so excited. Just a little thing. It doesn't have to be anything big. It's the little things. You know, he likes a salad. He wants a salad every day. So I make a salad every day. That makes him happy. But I put little different things, and he's like, wow, I got cucumbers today.
Yes.
You know, little things like that. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be anything big.
Right. It's the small
Just
things.
think.
And you know what?
Just think.
Just think.
That's good.
Just think. One of Nate's friends told him some years ago, in the time I've been married to 5 different women. It's the same person.
Wow.
But over time, they change. And it's the same thing here. Understanding that, you know, my husband used to break dance, and now
Wow.
Oh, okay. When we met, and every now and then he acts like I was like, don't do that, don't. But it is recognizing that the person that you're with now is different 36 years later than the person that you married. And so rather than responding to that person, respect who is in front of you today.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. He's not your enemy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think, you know, how to really love your spouse and your significant other means taking the time to develop an understanding of their good qualities.
Yes.
Right? Those change over time. Maybe they're more or less attentive than they were, you know, in the past. But focusing on those good qualities, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why you're with this person.
Yes.
There's a reason
Yes.
why. And even though those things might have changed over time, like, there is foundationally somebody that you grew to love. And you decided that you wanted to be with this person. You made that decision. You made that choice to be with this person. So go on an exploration of finding those good qualities. You know, always be looking for something to praise. Look for something to admire. I think when you admire somebody, you fawn over them, right? You don't fawn over people you don't think that have any good qualities,
That's true.
characteristics, or anything like
Admire,
that, right? So you find those qualities to admire, and that helps you to love them beyond their imperfections, because we all have them. We all have them, and your spouse, significant other is no different. They're going to have imperfections, but they're going to also have a lot of good things about them. Or you wouldn't be with them, right? And so trusting your decision that this was a good pick,
Trusting your decision.
that this was a
like
good
that
pick,
phrase.
right? And I did well. So let's grow together. Let's develop
good.
together.
I
Let's
did
change
well.
together.
That's good.
Yeah.
This was a good
You
pick.
did
This
well.
was a good pick.
This
You
was a
did
good
well.
pick.
Good pick.
Trust your pick. Yes. And the
Remember
last,
that. This
yes.
was a good pick.
Remember
This was a
that.
good pick.
Yeah. So when they start acting up, remember I did well.
Right. Remember, look, I'm the gift.
Right. I'm the gift. This is God's gift. So make sure you remember. And the last thing I will tell you all is, remember, in all the imperfections, they may do some things you may not like. They may go left and you want them to go right. Forgive.
Oh, yeah.
Forgiveness in learning people or understanding or loving people imperfections and flaws will allow the relationship to breathe. When you don't forgive, you will suffocate the choice and the decision that you made. Breathe. Forgive. Because everybody deserves to be loved.
That's real good.
very
That's a wrap. Thank you for coming to this episode, and then you can do your little thing with your slaves.
We're out of here. Catch us on the next episode. We love you.